in April, coming out of the hospital and coming out of spine surgery and being paralyzed from the waist down. That's actually why I'm up here. And those that are on video, and guys, I'm up in the White Mountains of Arizona, which is about 3.5 miles north of Phoenix, up here at a cabin. And we're getting some snow tonight, and I got a big fire on. And
so jealous.
This is something that we put in place last year, though. And, I remember there was a time last year when my whole right leg was numb as the cyst was wrapping itself around my spinal column, and my whole right leg was numb. And I grew up snowboarding. And snowboarding means a lot to me. There's a lot of passion there. Me and my best friend, Chris, grew up together snowboarding, been to a lot of mountains with him. So whenever I think of snowboarding, I think of him, and I think of the memories and our time growing up. And there was a time last year where I was so numb in my right leg. It was a Friday. I'll never forget it. It started snowing up in the high country. And I remember I was getting the text message, and I could see it, on Facebook. Oh, we're going skiing tomorrow. Nick, are you coming with us? And I remember getting so upset about that. I thought I could will myself to go snowboarding. And I remember that Friday night, I remember this story. And I put on my snowboarding boots. I tied them up, and for some odd reason, I thought in my mind I was stronger than being paralyzed. And I was like, oh geez. And so I had convinced myself that if I could strap myself into my snowboard and stand up, I was strong enough and I was good enough to will myself down a mountain. And well, what had happened was I actually got into my snowboard and I slowly just fell to the ground. And if you guys can picture the moment, I'm literally locked into my snowboard, feet are locked in. I can't bend my back because of my spine. My right leg is numb, and I'm officially stuck laying on my garage floor. And I'll never forget the moment is I just remember laying there and tears just started coming down my eyes. And I remember staring at the ceiling, just thinking to myself, I have so far to go. Oh my God. To get back into the shape that I was, or to be an athlete again, I knew in my heart of hearts that was going to be a long, long, long struggle, really long struggle. But what I did then at that moment in time, and this was almost a year ago, guys, and if you can learn anything from this horrendous thing that I went through, is set a goal for yourself and don't stop till you get there. And I remember laying there crying my eyes out, screaming for help because my girlfriend at the time was inside sleeping and she couldn't hear me. I think I was on the ground for about 2 hours alone.
Wow. I didn't know it was that long. Holy crap.
The thought that goes through your mind. I remember laying there and I got really, really inspired at that point in time. I was so sad. I was so upset, but I remember setting a goal for myself that I said, when I'm going to start rehabbing, I'm going to get through this. But when I do, I'm going to go up north and I'm going to snowboard, not for a day, for multiple weeks. And guys, I'm proud to tell you this. I'm sitting in a cabin and I'm going snowboarding for the first time tomorrow morning. And we're getting dumped on. We're getting dumped on tonight. And it's going to be a very emotional experience, a very spiritual experience. And it's kind of my way of putting a lot of that behind me. But the reason I share that story with you guys, one, to let you know that it's okay to be at rock bottom. Guys, I was at rock bottom. I mean, I was scared. I was terrified. I didn't know how to rehab, but I reached out to Andrew, who's here on the call with me, and I asked for help. And I knew that just starting slowly but surely in a year's time, that was going to add up. And maybe you're there right now and maybe you want to turn around your finances or turn around your health, turn around your relationships and save your marriage. Or maybe you're like, you know what, man, I really want to be present more with my kids. Just start and put a long-term goal in place. And remember when I met with Andrew on April the 1st, we put a goal in place and knew that we wanted to do this because he's obviously snowboarded with me and we've been part of this. And I'm going to convince you to get your butt up here and see me for a day. But I remember that first workout, man, and I could barely stand up. I mean, I could barely stand up with my own body weight. He had to pull me up and I couldn't, run. I couldn't walk, shuffle side to side. I remember one exercise where I just fell on the ground and started crying. And Andrew, he came over, he could see the tears in my eyes and just, you put your arms around me and let me know that it was going to be okay. And what that showed me was, you know what, every day that I do this, I'm going to get a little bit stronger and a little bit better. And it's not going to come overnight. And as much as I wanted to have that body again, dude, I mean, being a college football player, I was a beast at one point in time, throwing weights around. And that was a big part of my lifestyle. Mm-hmm. But I remember a couple weeks in, you go, dude, do you see how far you've come? Look at what you just did. And it wasn't fancy. You guys, like, I had to work out individually with Andrew in the gym because it was so embarrassing for me. You would look at me like, dude, this guy's an idiot. And we worked out one-on-one, but one workout turned into 10 and 10 turned into 20. And I remember when we started actually lifting some weights again and you could see the look on my face, but it didn't come overnight, guys. It really didn't. It took day in, day out, but nothing crazy. We only work out 45 minutes a day. And we were only working out 3 times a week at that point in time. And then 3 to 4 and 4 to 5. And now, I was able to go on a hike for the first time last week. And that was just such a beautiful moment for me. I shot Andrew a photo. I said, dude, thank you so much. I love you. I was able to hike a mountain today because of you. And guys, I'm just encouraging you right now, just get started. And stop worrying about the things coming overnight and super fast, and don't microwave them. Just start today with something. Because I'll tell you this, after a few weeks, if you've done something every day, maybe you just start a chapter of a book, listen to a 3-minute inspirational thing. After 2 weeks, you have that momentum. Tell your lady how much you love her today, or, go in and you know what, maybe at dinner, no tablets and phones at dinner, and just be present with the kids. Or
I like that one a lot.
Do a game night with the kids. Every Friday night's pizza and game night. Or, maybe you just every morning get up 15 minutes earlier and walk outside and write down what you're grateful for. I don't know what your goals are. Obviously, I want to learn about them and help you with those. But I know if you did that every single day, guys, it's going to add up. And you guys can understand how emotional it is for me to be sitting here with a fire behind me and being up in the snow and just being able to share this podcast with you. So I just wanted to share that story at the tail end of this podcast, guys. It's just, there is hope for you. No matter what you're trying to do, stop looking at how big the mountain really is and just worry about the next couple steps in front of you. Because I'll promise you this, you don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step. And that's actually a quote I put on Instagram today.